haven't even done my hair this morning. Hello everybody and welcome to another video. This is quite a special one because I've been experimenting with possible reasons why the backwards compatible PS3 seems to, with some models, and it's becoming more and more should we say popular. It's happening more and more anyway, that what we're seeing is PS3s that are fully backwards compatible losing PS2 playback. So what does that mean for the PlayStation? Well, it means that your A, B, C and E revision, which are desirable for that very reason, become basically a basic, no better than a super slim, no better than a console that you can pick up for 40 quid, and obviously these are running into the hundreds. So I've been looking at reasons as to why it's happening now. I've been looking at people like Ace Consoles in Australia, so hi Ace if you're watching, and also Computer Booter, who I actually get to 3D print parts of the console because I customise them, so he's been really good in that regard, so thanks to Mr. Booter. We basically tried everything, or they've tried everything, should I say. They've taken off several components. The key one being the GPU, the RSX. Now, what's going on here is that a lot of people, including myself, would just think, well, it's a GPU issue and we need to rebuild the GPU or replace the GPU, Frankenstein it. And yeah, you'd be perfectly within your rights to think that, because the signal does go and run through the GPU, through the CPU, and then through the GS or EE chip. But it's not, because people that have Frankenstein them have then found the issue. So you've got a non-working console blinking at you, you do all the work for the Frankenstein, and then basically what happens is you know, you test PS2 games and they don't work. So there is a particular NoPS2 issue that I'm talking about, and it gets worse over time, and to the point it just doesn't play at all. So what tends to happen is, as the PS2 playback starts to fail, the console won't boot PS2 games unless it reaches a certain temperature. So the console I've got over here, which you'll be seeing some sped up videos a little bit with some music in the background because there's so much testing, it wouldn't be watchable for you guys, so I've done it with subtitles so you get the gist. But I thought I'd do this initial part so you'd understand the history of it, why it's important, especially if you're watching this for the first time, and how much effort has already gone into trying to find out what exactly causes this. So having watched Computer Booter, Ace Consoles, found that it's not the RSX. They've replaced various chips, it's not that. Literally nearly every component's been changed on the board. I started to think, well, could it be something to do with kinked traces within the board itself, within the motherboard? And I also thought, could it also be to do with microscopic corrosion? And the reason I'm thinking that is because I've seen plenty of motherboards that are corroded on the edges, and plenty of motherboards that are slightly warped. The case tries to do a good job of bolting it between two metal plates on the backwards compatible versions, and then bolting it down to the case to keep it straight. But because of the thermal contraction over time, these boards are going to warp. And also there's going to be microscopic corrosion that we cannot see, and also under the chips as well. So my initial thought was, again, it could be that we need to straighten the board, and I think that is part of it, and I'm going to go through in these sped up videos exactly what we've done. And yeah, I bolted it down to a brace. I'll show you what I mean. I do show it in the video, but a lot of people like to hear me speak rather than have the video with the music, but yeah. So you've got something like this, and then the motherboard is bolted down to this with the CPU and the RSX facing up. Actually, you can see some of these need tightening. Do that another time. But yeah, once it's bolted down, it's completely level. When you rest it on there initially before bolting it down, you can literally touch the board and you see that it's not level. You see that it's basically wavering slightly. So once I bolted it down, and it gets a 2-hour heat treatment at 120 degrees, and then it gets about an hour's cool down. You just open the reflow oven just slightly and let the air cool it down. When you unbolt it and you push it down, you don't get it moving, which means the board is now flat. So that's what I mean by bolting it down to a brace. So initially I was just resting it on those. But yeah, I then discovered that actually no, you need to bolt it down. And I've done several of them, and they're all working fine except one. This gentleman, I think it's Colin Island. Sorry if I've got that wrong. But thanks for letting us use your console as an experimental tool, should we say? And yeah, he found that, because he's obviously not using his console a lot, he just uses it now and again. And he put it away for about 10 days, 2 weeks, and when he took it out, it didn't work. So that was after I did the initial heat treatment. So I asked him to send it back, which he's done, and he then basically explained the situation to me. I then gave it the heat treatment again, this time bolted it down. I then left it for 2 weeks, I think it was 10 days, and tried it again. Yeah, it was 10 days on the first occasion. Tried it again, and it wasn't playing the PS2 straight off. So I thought, okay, so the heat has helped, but I still think there's something going on here. It could be microscopic corrosion. Maybe the heat at 120 degrees helps to burn off some of the corrosion, but I think it needs a proper clean. So I got in contact with Sean, I think it's Sean, at Console Tech. Sorry, it's really early in the morning. But yeah, Sean at Console Tech, and he basically said to me he would be happy to give it an ultrasonic clean at 50 degrees and replace the tokens. Now I did ask for the tokens to be replaced as well, because I wanted to rule those out as well, because somebody had already placed the top side tokens the old fashioned way, you know, when they go slightly diagonal and you get 4 on each one. It didn't look right. Well, it was a clean job, to be honest, but when you now get the PCB boards on, it just looks so much better. So, and that's exactly what Sean does. He does a professional job. The soldering is spot on. So he then took the tantalums off the top and took the tokens off the bottom of the board, and then replaced those for me as well with Ace console PCB boards with the tantalum capacitors on there. Okay, so I now get it back and it works straight off. Now when I sent it, it didn't. It had to go to 60 degrees to even get the PS2 logo. I was not getting anything really booting either. I think I got one PS2 game to boot eventually at quite a high temperature, which is the classic NoPS2 symptoms. It will literally get worse and worse and worse until your console can't run the console itself so as hot as it needs to reach PS2 playback, or it just dies completely. So I then left this console after it's had the heat treatment on the brace, on the bracket, for 2 hours. Then it's had the ultrasonic clean and NEC tokens replaced with tantalum capacitors on PCB boards, Ace console PCB boards, and I left it for 2 weeks. So last time it went wrong, I left it for 2 weeks. I then left the game in there. The last game I tried was GTA 3. I left it in there. So the moment this booted up 2 weeks later, I could then test it. And that's where I'm going to leave it. And I'm now going to pass you on to the videos. Please enjoy them. It is quite a breakthrough, I think, that what you're going to see. And I really hope that, I mean, because all I'm doing, because I'm a refurbisher, and yeah, I've dabbled a little bit in repair. I can now remove the RSX and I can put a new one on. I can't reball yet, that's way beyond me at the moment. Maybe I'm blaming it on the equipment. Maybe I'll try a different jig. I can rewrite the syscom. I'm a fairly competent refurbisher, and I can do, you know, some basic repairs, but only on the PS3. That's where my specialty lies. And yeah, so I've just become a little bit obsessed about it. And I can even remove the tokens as well and replace them. But I just know Sean just does a much better job. You know, he does it for a living. He's a technician, so and works on other things other than PS3s. So yeah, enjoy the video, yeah, leave your comments, and if you've got any questions, then I'll be happy to answer them for you.